What's up, guys? Welcome to Tennessee Mountain Homestead. Buck 50 is basically complete, and it's time to get back to work on the Sears.
Today's goal is to get this tractor running and driving so we can take it for a test trip.
The Sears is packing a 23 horsepower Briggs Vanguard V-Twin that we got from Small Engine Warehouse, but there's no way we can leave this thing stock.
To modify it, I've got these 5,500 RPM valve springs with billet aluminum retainers. I've got these billet push rods and a 2-barrel adapter for my 32mm Mikuni slide carburetor. And all this stuff came from Performance Machine and Design.
We're also going to be removing the stock governor inside the engine, so let's open this thing up and get it cracking.
Okay.
All the linkages for the carburetor and the governor have been removed from the engine, and all that's left is right here. So we're gonna go ahead, put that right into the scrap bin. Now we do have the stock carburetor and the air filter adapter. If anyone's interested in this, we won't just throw it out, but let us know and we'll send it to you for free, and if you just pay shipping.
The next thing we're going to do is bust open the crankcase and remove the governor.
The oil filter housing and the oil cooler come off with the side cover, so I took the bolts off the engine so that this will come loose and we don't have to mess with any of the hose clamps. Next up, we're going to remove the valve covers. The rocker arms are coming off next.
Look, the two push rods are different on each side.
The rocker arms are out, and that means there's no stress on the lifters. So the next thing we're gonna do is pull out the camshaft. Now we're going to remove the governor, and if you look right here, this is the piece that interacts with the governor weights on the back of the camshaft. We're going to remove these two torque screws, and then this shaft should slide right out of the cover. It probably goes the other way. So we're gonna remove that cotter pin, little plastic bushing. And now we got it off. Now we're going to remove the weights off the camshaft. How this works, as the camshaft spins, these are weights and they go throw outwards with centrifugal force. And then it makes this collar ride forward and pushes on that piece on the crankcase. Well, we're not concerned about that anymore. So what we're gonna do is grind away the heads off these little pins and tap them on out. It seems like we need to keep this little plate intact because there's rivets that hold the plate on in this little pin right here that work with this decompression lever on the other side.
I'm going to plug the hole where the governor shaft used to live on the side cover with just a 5/16 bolt. It's got a washer on top and a lock nut on the inside.
All right, guys, we just got done putting the lifters back in. And now we're gonna slide the cam back into position. What we're trying to do is close up the engine so that we can change the valve springs. We just don't want to rotate the engine with the crankshaft not supported on one side. Just like that. If you guys are going to pull your engines apart, make sure you get a nice new gasket for it, because even with this brand new engine, when we took the side cover off, the gasket stuck to one side and I don't think it was reusable. And the gasket is absolutely necessary for end play clearances. Does everything look good?
Looks good to me.
All right.
Here I've got my torque wrench. It's set to 200 inch-pounds, which is the torque spec for these Vanguard side cover bolts.
We're taking the spark plugs out for a couple reasons. And the first one is because so we can turn the engine around easier. And second, we're going to screw a device into the spark plug hole so we can put compressed air into the cylinder so the valves don't fall in.
Here's our tool for pushing compressed air into the cylinder, and we just screw it right into the spark plug hole. Got him. All right, go for it. That's good.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
Ready?
Okay. Yeah.
This is our valve spring compression tool.
Got him. Let me clean them off.
Look at the difference. They're the same height, just way thicker coils. Ready?
Yeah, I think. There's one. I got it.
All right, guys, valve springs are all back in. Everything's good. The engine spins nice and free. We're going to go ahead and put the push rods back in, and then the rocker arms. Next, we will gap the valve lash.
We've got our torque wrench back out, and we're going to tighten the rocker arm studs to 100 inch-pounds.
Click. Did it click?
Click, click. It feels about right.
What is that, 5,000s?
Yeah, 5,000s.
How's it now?
It feels a little tight. It feels about right.
How is it still?
Yeah.
Is it still good?
Yeah. Just feeling some resistance on it.
All right, we got everything lashed out to 5,000ths, and it's time to put the valve covers back on.
The last piece of this puzzle is our carb adapter, and it just bolts on right here.
All right, guys, that concludes everything we're gonna do to this engine. The next step is to get it back in the tractor.
Tomorrow.
What's up, guys? The engine's back in the tractor, and Ethan's gonna show you what's up. Fire it up.
Here we go. We do still have a few things to button up on this tractor, like the seat, gas pedal, and finishing up the clutch.
We're also going to replace the factory ball joints with Heim joints. But we're going to do all that stuff off camera, and the next time you see this tractor, it's going to be ripping.
But that's going to do it for the video. I want to thank you all for watching. As always, I'm Ethan.
I'm Jason. You're watching Tennessee Mountain Homestead, and we'll see you on the next one. Fire it up.